terms of its actions is that it is distinctly inflammation modulating. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of volatile or essential oils in this plant. And when you take it through steam distillation, you yield this absolutely stunning, like deep cobalt blue essential oil. It's one of two plants that I know of that yields this type of blue oil. The other one would be yarrow. And that essential oil is very rich in two constituents referred to, well, there's lots of constituents in there, but there's azulene and camazulene. And these two constituents have been very well studied, showing that they are distinctly inflammation modulating and sedative to heat and irritation within the body. So you combine that with all the other actions and properties we've looked at, and now we see that chamomile not only stimulates digestion as a bitter tonic, not only does it settle excess nervousness and digestive symptoms related to the nervous system, not only is it a great carminative, but it's also sedating heat, inflammation, and irritation within the digestive system. So this brings it to a really nice broad spectrum of properties and support for digestive health. So that volatile nature of the remedy, right? The way that it has all of these essential oils volatilizes it out into the nervous system. So I tend to think of this plant as really a great, gentle Nervine sedative. I differentiate that from the stronger Nervine hypnotics in the sense that this can be used throughout the day, and it's not going to make you sleepy or tired or dopey or anything like that. But it's just enough of a nervine property to cut that nervous edge down and keep one calm and centered and not making you too tired. But again, specifically when that nervousness affects the gut, so those nervous digestive issues is, to me, really where chamomile shines. And so in that way, it has an antispasmodic action in the gut that's also associated with its carminative properties. So it's going to increase blood flow to the digestive system. It's going to gently relax any constriction or tension in the digestive system, cramping, spasm, as well as excess heat, inflammation, and irritation. So really, any manner of inflammatory digestive symptom, chamomile is going to be a really great remedy for. It's a really great remedy for just any kind of general digestive distress, dyspepsia, gas, bloating, nausea, constipation even, because the bitter tonic property is going to stimulate gastric secretions. So this is a really super versatile plant. Now, shifting into the energetics, the all-important energetics. So what we see with chamomile is its influence on temperature is predominantly going to be cooling. We see this because it's a bitter tonic. Most bitter tonics tend to be cooling. And because the volatile oil, which many volatile oils typically are warming, but with chamomile, it's a little bit different in that those volatile oils are actually distinctly cooling. So it's really great for excess heat patterns. And then it's going to have a net drying effect. There's no moistening properties to this herb. And then it will have a relaxant effect in terms of its influence on the tone of the tissues. So cooling, drying, and relaxant. This will have a really great property for reducing an excess of the pitta dosha in the Ayurvedic orientation of things. So sedating heat. It's really good at reducing excess vata in terms of it being calming. But there's kind of this dynamic with the vata dosha that we see over and over and over again with herbal remedies, which is that on the one hand, a remedy like chamomile reduces the tension and the nervousness, the too much wind part of vata, but it's a cooling, drying plant. So it can aggravate a little bit of the coldness and dryness of vata. And that's where formulating it to help kind of balance that property, simply giving it with a gently warming plant, and if someone's overly dry, putting it with a moistening plant helps to correct that constitutional dynamic with this plant. And in terms of the physiomedicalist tissue states, I like to think of chamomile as being really, really great for the wind tension tissue state. So that is, typically things that influence the nervous system, the musculoskeletal system. So nervousness, anxiety, coupled with cramping, tension in the musculature as well as in the mind. So kind of nerves and muscles is where that wind tension tissue state tends to influence. Um, and it can also be a really great remedy for the heat excitation tissue state. Whenever there's too much irritation in the tissues, it's really good in that way. So these are some of the core properties of chamomile, looking at it through the lens of these keys of understanding an herb holistically.